How you doing? This is George Senda, the guy from Pittsburgh, and this is Trump Talk. Well, some really incredible things are happening in the Republican Party. John Kasich, the guy who's won one primary and who managed to survive past Marco Rubio, George Bush, and all the rest. There were 13 people running for president on the Republican side. Now there's 3. And he said there won't be rioting if Trump doesn't become the nominee. Well, do you think that the Republican rank and file, the Tea Party members, the conservatives, are just going to let the establishment Republicans throw Trump in the garbage if he doesn't quite get enough delegates to be the nominee, and just stand for it? I was at the '68 Democratic Convention, and that was an absolute zoo. And I worked for Hubert Humphrey, and got beaten by the Chicago police. They're not going to stand for it. They might walk out. They're sure as hell not going to stand there. Oh, thank you, GOP establishment. Thank you for screwing us after we voted for Mitt Romney and held our nose, and John McCain and held our nose twice, and every other losing candidate since Barry Goldwater that the establishment puts up, and they don't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning. The last guys, of course, that won were Bush 1, Bush 2, and Ronald Reagan, and Nixon. And Nixon won because he was anti-crime. Unfortunately, he became Mr. Crime. So that's one thing. And then a Princeton University expert who has predicted accurately the last few elections, far more than the so-called astrologer and Nostradamus expert John Hogue, who still puts out this fraud that he's picked elections since '68 when he hasn't. I've shown the proof, and so is a website. And he says Trump won the nomination, by winning in Ohio. And he said the best thing for Kasich to do is not run in the winner-take-all states. So we'll see what happens with that. I still have a gut feeling that Trump is going to get advisors. He's going to get experts. He shoots from the hip. He speaks his mind. He doesn't care about political correctness. And I saw an article in The Guardian in England saying 5 reasons why we're scared to death of Donald Trump. And they mentioned the Muslims, the illegal aliens, blacks. The man speaks his mind. He speaks the truth. He's not against all people from South and Central America and Mexico. He's not against all Muslims. But he said we have to vet the people that are coming here from Syria and elsewhere to make sure they're not terrorists. And the left and the mainstream leftist media like CNN and MSNBC and the Washington Post and every leftist out there, including Hillary Clinton and Sanders and people in my own party, are going absolutely ape over this. Oh, this is terrible. He's discriminating against Muslims. He's discriminating against people from Latin America. No, he's not. He doesn't want illegal aliens. He wants people that abide by our laws. And some say his trade ideas are going back to the 30s, and that may be the case. But he's absolutely right. GATT, NAFTA, and this TPP that Obama is pushing have all led to 1 million jobs leaving the United States for other countries. And I saw an article in the New York Times where this guy tried to tell us how all this stuff was negotiated personally by Barack Obama. And one of the things that was in the negotiations, they would not use slave labor, they would not use women as sex slaves and slaves making products in places like Vietnam, Thailand, China, and elsewhere. Well, I hate to tell them, but it's still going on. There are arrests every day in the Bay Area for women who come here. Their passports are taken away, they're held in bondage, and they're turned into sex slaves. And I'm sure they have slave labor building Apple products. Now, Trump is absolutely wrong about bringing Apple back to the United States because it would cost you $600 for an Apple phone that you can pay for $45 a month. And they give you a deal on that because they sell the phone as a loss leader at AT&T and elsewhere to get you in there to get a 2-year contract. But he has to work these things out. He doesn't worry about how much he pays for an Apple phone, and he's got an iPhone. So that's what I'm saying about this. Oh yeah, one more thing. The Indianapolis Star. And the Indianapolis Star has always been a reactionary paper when it comes to Republicans. They were when Governor Yarborough was running for president. I think it was Governor Yarborough. or was that in Texas? Anyway, in '68, and they're saying that Republicans in that state must repudiate Donald Trump if they want to run for U.S. Senate or other offices. Now, you tell me what Republican is going to repudiate the front runner and the party's nominee just to try to ensure that they get elected? I don't think that's going to happen. I've never heard of our party repudiating the nominee. Now, some in our party refused to vote in the last election because they didn't like Mitt Romney. They stayed home. But part of that is because the leftist media told lies about Mitt Romney. Mitt was not the greatest candidate in the world. Neither was John McCain. But the alternative, Barack Obama, for 2 elections, the GDP of this country is terrible, despite what they say the economy. I read one of the leftist papers, the economy is great and all this stuff. Oh God, I got a mosquito going after me here. But that's not the case. Our GDP is horrible. Trump's absolutely right. We have no growth. And growth means jobs. And Hillary Clinton, she'd be even worse than Obama. She's more left than Obama. She makes Obama look like a moderate or centrist. So what choice do you have here? If Trump becomes a nominee, Republicans are fed up with our party and the GOP in Washington, the elite, the establishment in the Senate, the House, and the GOP choosing our nominees. They got a show on Showtime where they make fun of us. They call us, we're just voters. And they make fun of us for voting. And we want our nominee. We don't want some guys in a back room or a dinner party in Washington, D.C., or Silver Spring, or Bethesda, or Tacoma Park, deciding who's going to be the nominee of our party. When we vote in the primaries, that's who we want. And we've already proven it wasn't the guy who they were saying all along, including John Hogue, that it was going to be Jeb Bush. And after 3 years of being on coast to coast, he changed his mind. He now is not for Bush. Bush had no chance because people repudiated Bush, just like they repudiated Mario Rubio. And Mario Rubio is going to go out of politics and become a professor or something. He said that today when they interviewed him. He's done with politics. He probably changed his mind in 4 years. But the hangers-on, the Fiorinas, Mike Huckabee, all the other people, Ben Carson endorsed Trump. Ben Carson was a great surgeon, and he's a decent man, and I'm sure he'll have a post in a Trump administration. But people are frightened of Trump for the wrong reasons. He speaks the truth. He's not politically correct, and the left and the media can't stand that. All right, this is the end of Trump talk. Oh, one other thing. Yolandi Withers and the other people on my channel, you keep making posts. I see them pop up my email. Well, I hate to tell you this, but your posts are blocked. They'll never appear in the channel. And so quit insulting me and quit using things like I'm fat, I'm an idiot, a moron. Nobody's going to see them. And, come up with something creative, will you? Because, I've never heard that I'm fat or I'm an idiot or a moron. Those insults roll off my back because I just consider the people who post them are stupid. They aren't creative. They can't come up with a decent insult that bit them on the behind. But nobody's going to see your posts because you've been blocked. So don't keep leaving them. All it does is waste your time and mine looking at them. I got other things to do. I'll be on other talk shows after end of days, and I have an offer to go down to Los Angeles and do something down there. And George Norrie wished me well. He said, do my best. I said, I will. I'll do my damn best. And I talked to the host of End of Days for 3 hours yesterday about Trump and the election and the paranormal and Art Bell and Heather. So we were on the phone for 3 hours. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun on End of Days. And I'm going to enjoy it. All right. Listen to that, 8 o'clock Saturday. And I'll catch you next time. Have a great night. Bye-bye.